Suggestions are that Romelu Lukaku could be on the move. Speaking of Antonio Conte, he said, he is to me the best manager in the world. Antonio Conte, of course, now in charge of Inter Milan. The Belgium striker heavily linked then to a move to Serie A. This looks very likely, Gab?
Well, certainly difficult to or when you have a guy coming out speaking so emphatically. But as far as I understand, there's still an issue that you need to reach an agreement with Manchester United. And if you're United, you need to put a valuation on him, bearing in mind you will likely need to go and sign another striker because otherwise you only have Marcus Rashford left. They're talking sort of 70 million. I'm not sure how Inter can do that unless they get some serious money back for Mauro Icardi. That's not entirely clear to me that they will. They're also going after Dzeko, who would obviously be more of a short-term solution. There's also the issue of Lukaku's wages, which are basically they'd make him the highest paid player on the team by some margin. The old standby of just give him Perisic in part exchange. I'm not sure that's going to work anymore. So I think this is a lot more complex. I think this is a case of maybe Lukaku and his people coming out and saying, look, United, we have a deal in place. There's a place for me to go. Just let me go. Be reasonable about the money you get back because you're going to want to go and sign somebody else.
Right move for everyone?
Certainly for Lukaku, yeah. Best manager in the world. I'm sorry. I think even Conte will be embarrassed when he reads that. He'll be thinking, even if he's tapped him up and said to him, look, I'm going to try and get you.
Right.
He'll be going, why did you open your mouth? Keep your mouth shut. But to answer your question, yeah, perfect for everybody, I guess.
Yeah.
For Inter? For Inter?
Well, they've got to get rid of Icardi. Is the Italian league capable of taking care of the physicality of Lukaku? Listen, we go on about what he can't do, but the physicality of the guy, I'm not so sure that Italian teams will be able to handle him.
So Lukaku looks like he's on his way out at Old Trafford. Interesting rumours circulating around Manchester is that there will be no director of football this summer. Ed Woodward will continue to be the man who's in charge of all of the transfers, Gab.
Yeah, although they're quick to point out, well, it's not just Ed Woodward sitting there by himself. It's Ed Woodward and sort of a cast of thousands with René Bout, with John Murtha, plus, of course, Mike Phelan and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with the right to veto transfers, which, I don't know, to me just sounds weird and twisted. So they're emphasizing that it's sort of the committee approach, the communal approach. You remember not that long ago, people were ridiculing Liverpool for the committee approach. And then we saw where it got Liverpool. That said, like with any committee, it depends on the quality of the people in the committee and the decisions that they make.
Would you trust Woodward as the head of that committee?
No, it's great, and like every committee, it relies on the guy at the top that makes a decision.
Yeah.
Which means the committee idea is complete nonsense.
Did Liverpool need a committee to sign Van Dijk? Let me think. Or
Alisson.
Or Alisson.
Yeah.
Let me think. I mean, that really takes a committee, doesn't it? To go out and find, a top player, who's wanted by everybody. That's really a big committee. It's a big committee decision. So no, they've got a poor footballing guy making decisions in Ed Woodward. They've got a poor manager in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and they've got a poor team. Simple.
Well, they're looking to try and bolster that team, particularly at the back. You've got Maguire and...
Well, Maguire will go to Man City if he's got any brains, and they want him.
Right.
Correct, 100%. And I think Man City do want him because Company has gone. Otamendi is... I don't know if he's still there, but he's not going to play much. John Stones struggled. And if I was Harry Maguire and I had the choice, I would walk to Man City and play for them over Man United.
Ahead of United.
Oh, 100%. Why wouldn't you? I mean, it's just football and perspective.
80 million, though.
For what?
I mean, I know at the end of the day, it's about whatever the market dictates.
Yes.
80 million for Harry Maguire.
Well, you're talking about Kyle Walker, who was more than half of that as a fullback. You're talking 75 million plus, I think, for Virgil van Dijk, who's worth probably double that now.
Right.
You're talking about a guy who is one of the few football. And look, I'm not saying he's the best centre half in Europe. Like Koulibaly's probably a better defender, not a doubt about that. How many people are prepared to play the way City plays a centre half? Not many. He'll come out with the ball, he'll pass the ball, he'll take it under pressure. He's got a good physical presence. He's played in the World Cup semi-final. He's came a hell of a long way. It's not his fault if they want 80 million from him. It's just the market. The market is nuts.
And you know what you're getting, right? That's the biggest thing for me. You know exactly what you're getting from Harry Maguire.
Right.
And that is number one, first and foremost, you're getting a defender. And that's what City need. City will get a multiple amount of attacking options. What they need are defenders, particularly Company going. So he fits the bill, but it's just a lot.
No, but they want defenders that will play and come out with the ball.
Exactly.
Because he doesn't want anybody. There's no point in getting a centre half there that can defend, that can't kick, can hardly control the thing, because that's what got them. That's what was getting them in trouble in his first season. One of the things was people making too many mistakes. They're still making, but just not as many, because the players that they have, particularly in the full-backs area, where in his first season he had, I think, Sanya and what's his name, West Ham. No,
Clichy, didn't he?
The Argentinian boy went to West Ham.
Zabaleta.
Thanks, Gab. I forget his name all the time. And they were good players, but not good enough for what he wanted. So the full-back area was a big issue for him. And I think the centre-half area clearly is now as well.
Maguire, Gab, United or City? Is it that simple?
Well, look, if it's going to be 80 million, obviously it's going to be one of those two clubs. What I find really surprising, and I think maybe there's a story there, is that I mentioned him earlier. Matthijs de Ligt, in some ways, when you look at the type of footballing centre half that he is, when you're looking at the fact that he cost about as much as Maguire, but of course he's 4 years younger, he might be a great fit at City, if not for one thing. And I wonder if this is the reason why City haven't been linked to him, is that his agent is Mino Raiola, and obviously there's a lot of bad blood between him and Pep Guardiola going back, 10 years was Ibrahimovic at Barcelona. And I wonder if that's the reason why they're saying, let's take the Ligt out of the picture, let's just focus on Harry Maguire.
Meanwhile, a word on Wan-Bissaka. Of course, had a breakout season, didn't he, for Crystal Palace. Looks like the right choice if you're Manchester United. You're trying to bolster the squad.
Absolutely, a great choice for anybody, for Man United or anybody else.